Today on Running to Him.
Turning a country back to Christ cannot happen instantly. Believers must consistently act like believers. Today's reading is 1 Kings chapter 21, verses 29 through 53, and we'll be concentrating on verses 43 through 44 and verse 46. 1 Kings chapter 22, verses 43 through 44 and verse 46 says, "He walked in all the way of Asa his father. He did not turn aside from it, doing right in the sight of the Lord. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burnt incense on the high places. Jehoshaphat also made peace with the king of Israel. The remnant of the sodomites who remained in the days of Asa his father, he expelled from the land." Now 2 Chronicles chapters 17 through 20 are an expanded history of Jehoshaphat, and by reading them, we'll have a better picture of who Jehoshaphat was and some of his victories and struggles. Jehoshaphat was a reformer both socially and in religion. He cleaned up the remnant of the false gods which plagued Judah. But unfortunately, old habits die hard, and even though he removed the high places from Judah, people returned to them in his lifetime. Today I'd like to reflect on what it will take to reform us as believers and as a nation. We believers have fallen into a series of bad habits which are hurting our walk with Christ and our witness to the world. There are two ways to attempt to change society, and only one way will work. Now, there are several Christian leaders and groups who are crying out for change. They are very public about it, and they seek a confrontation at every corner to which they come. There is another group of believers seeking change as well, but they are seeking it by changing individual lives to eventually winning over society. Those who seek straight-out confrontation may win some battles, but they will lose the war. The debacle in Afghanistan proves the point. After 20 years of attempting change, when we handed the country over entirely to the leaders we supported, they quickly lost it. We instituted changes over the last 20 years, but we did not win the people's hearts, and we lost the war. The only way a country changes, or an individual changes for that matter, is through their buying into the change and personalizing it. Without a complete acceptance of the principles of change, when the struggles come, people revert back to what they know and what they've internalized. Unfortunately, this is going back to precisely what happened in Afghanistan and in the United States. We as Christians cannot look to a great awakening to instantly change our country. We must play the long game, because in that way we will incorporate biblical principles through a change of people's minds. It took a very long time to get to where we are today, and it will take a long time to return. And that change begins with each Christian living their lives with a relationship to Christ making the difference. We need to be willing to give up everything so that people will see our commitment to Christ. We need to return to a 1st through 3rd century Christian mindset. We need to live a consistent walk with Christ, not screaming at the top of our lungs, but quietly helping people change by seeing our changed lives. We need to clean up our act so that others will clean up theirs.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.